hey, you should like and subscribe.
Explain to me what your approach to all of this sort of the credibility crash of the news or people's perceived credibility crash. Because I think it's largely unwarranted. I think people pick one thing that they ended up, a famous one being the Iraq War, New York Times, all that stuff. How do you defend news?
Big question.
Maybe too hard. I mean, I think it's called journalism.
There's journalism, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
This is not. Now the teacher becomes the student. This is the Neal Brennan method. It's behind the paywall. Go on.
The way I think about it daily is what evidence am I showing people and how clear can I be about the evidence and sources we've used to present this information so that they might make up their own mind. So it's both what you do and what you don't do. I know you love and have endorsed everything that Ye has ever said.
I won't call him Ye. I refuse.
Would you call Muhammad Ali by his name?
I would call Cassius Clay, when he changed to Muhammad Ali, I would call him Muhammad Ali. If he changed it again, I'm done.
That's it.
You have a one. You get one change.
Okay.
So I did Yeezy. I did Yeezy.
What about people who get divorced and remarried repeatedly and their last name keeps changing?
I still call my sisters by Brennan.
Yeah.
They can't keep a husband. A lot of these sisters.
So as Ye said, everything I'm not made me everything I am.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
One of my least favorite hip hop defenses. Go on.
So
Jay-Z, if I hadn't dealt drugs, then I couldn't write songs about dealing drugs. Or you could just not deal drugs.
Well, but I think everything I'm not means what you choose not to do when you have a position of influence is as important as what you choose to do. If you were alone in a desert, it might not matter what you say. So the question of credibility also goes to what we don't do. I try not to brainwash, over-polarize, over-opinion. There's a place for that.
Well, that's what I'm curious about.
I think by not doing that, you can build the credibility of the hour because someone goes, wait, even if that information is true, did you pick these 4 pieces of information because you're truly back end trying to convince me of something? And I would say, no. I get why you're skeptical of that. Let me work with my team to present this to you nightly. We do it live every night. You can't really fake that. I mean, at a certain point, it's like me talking with this stuff every night live, right? If they catch you slipping, you're live. So I'm presenting this to you not because there's a secret agenda that by minute 37, I'm going to convince you.
It's truly what you think is important.
Yes, and it's truly the evidence we have. And so I've even had it. I'll stay on Epstein because I think it's of interest to many people and probably
it's all I care about.
Your audience. No, I'm kidding. Who knows? We don't know.
No one knows. No one knows.
We don't know. But it's been a big topic. And so I was discussing it with someone because I have interviewed a lot of people around that story. Mm-hmm. And I have covered a bunch of it. And someone was saying he clearly must have been killed in prison. And I said, well, here's what we know. And I did the breakdown. There was an incentive, a motive to kill him. He was already supposed to be under special protection. He was the most notorious defendant in the country at the time.
Had attempted once already.
With no clear second. And there were multiple protocols broken that night, and then they lost the clear video that would have showed whether, if you had the accurate video, whether he went in. I said, so that's very suspicious, and you rarely can trust the government to investigate itself. Blah, 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 blah. So I went to the end, and they said, oh, so you're saying he was killed? And I said, no, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm giving you an evidence-based view of why there are more questions, that this is more of a concern than some random thing where someone very clearly just died in a certain way, or you have the death on video, or they died in a hospital and there were multiple witnesses and you don't think all the nurses are in on the conspiracy. This wasn't that. This has a lot of credibility questions that one would investigate. But it was interesting to me that someone hearing the evidence laid out was like, oh, so then X or Y. And what I would tell the viewers is, on this one, we don't have X or Y.
Yeah.
I have more questions about whether it is Y.
Door
number 2, but yeah.
Does it give you pause that something like everything is open to the shadow of a doubt has never been bigger about kind of everything. You can get counterfactuals, you can get other video, other points of view. The Epstein thing being, I think the what's funny watching Republicans sort of get hoisted on their own petards is like they endorsed a paranoid worldview, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. And now they're getting inundated with suspicion because they created a culture of suspicion of especially liberal policies. Does that give you pause? Like, this is not good.
Well, it's certainly not good for a cohesive society. And
well, then don't worry about it.
So it just depends if by good we mean that we can have large-scale societal interaction with shared reality and then try to reason through communal decisions, which is the foundation of Western democracy, which may not endure. It was not the dominant government system in the world.
It's a new idea.
It's a relatively new idea.
In terms of world history?
Then, yes, it's a big problem with that. And so if you look at the scholarship on this, there is a lot of evidence that what we might measure as a certain minimal level of communal trust is essential to these large-scale systems. So Francis Fukuyama has a book called Trust. Yuval Harari writes about this in terms of which societies tend to reason their way through better. And by better, we mean that we have less random violence, we have less disruption of the social order, that we have the time and space to do progress in technology, which often means, for example, that you can beat infant mortality, or you don't have the government causing famines as they did in the leftist Chinese Mao era, that you can get past certain things. There's still going to be problems in life, but there's a bunch of stuff you could clear out when you have that requisite level of trust. And if you lose that, you tend to get autocratic or strong man, strong person leaders, or you have a total breakdown. I mean, you have countries in the world that have completely disintegrated, and you just kind of then go back to what? I mean, go look at what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's warlords, it's local violence and systems, it's bartering across geography. It looks like more like 500 plus years ago. We go, oh, we don't go over there, and they don't come over here, and that's the best we can do. And then sooner or later, we have another war.
Yeah, it seems like you have to explain first principles to people now. Like, no, wait. If this happens, it's going to be really bad. But people are so angry about misinformation, just stuff that's not, that they conflate into serious crimes or issues or whatever that are just not.
Yeah, and we can also have understanding or empathy for the level at which someone's considering that decision. In other words, you and I are talking about it at that altitude. Mm-hmm. Someone who is on a ranch and their neighbor is 30 miles away, and there's no police to protect them. Yeah, they have their own protection, or they're chancing it, and they're not really thinking about everything that's everywhere else, right? Yeah. And that's okay. I understand that perspective, especially in the short term. They're like, trying to work, trying to go check to check. I'm trying to take care of my family. You're talking about over there. Like, fine. That's fine. I think if you're in other situations, and that's why it's funny, this term globalist, right, is generally very derogatory. Sometimes it's a stand-in for hate. But also there are people who are living...
All the times, it's the membership program of the Hyatt Hotel brand. Literally, globalist is the highest you can get in the Hyatt Rewards program. It's insane.
But there are class and opportunity differences where some people are bopping around to different capitals with their passport and their money, and other people, a lot of people, are living in...
Most people. Almost everybody.
One place. So talking about that day to day is not as relevant and doesn't relate. I think that's so oftentimes under the information debates is like, what do we mean by this? What do we mean by better? And which groups are we talking about?
Yeah, you know? I just don't want to live in Mad Max. Call me old fashioned. I just don't want to live.
I get it.
Well, okay. Well, what do you make of? So you just try to present the information you have. Do you have much? I don't like fortune telling on networks. I don't like too much opinion, and I don't like fortune telling. Do you? You have autonomy of your show, or somewhat, or a good amount of autonomy where you can say, like, I don't want to have, like, what can we expect in the next few days? Are the walls closing in?
Well, look, there's more than one way to tell a story. We have editorial freedom, which I greatly value. I have certain rules. I mean, when I started the show, The Beat
with Ari Melber,
we wrote a handbook. So we have news standards practices for the whole place, right? When we check a source, what's reportable.
This is from MSNBC.
Yeah, that's from NBC.
From the lawyers.
Yeah, from NBC standards, and that's a good thing. And while I think the internet's great, because I'm on it plenty and listen to a lot of stuff. You can tell sometimes when you see a presentation online or a podcast convo, and if it's just a chat, it's a chat. But you realize after listening to half an hour of it, nobody checked anything, or at the end, someone's like, oh, we're gonna Google this. Oh, it's a little different than we said. Oh, whatever. And you're like, well, we try to do that before we ever hit the mic.
Yeah,
But not all podcasts are.
And it's
fact
also
check for news.
I know. I mean, that's
fine.
And that's what makes them popular.
Sure, and labeling matters. So if you like Star Wars is already popular. I was just rewatching Last Jedi. But if it was put on...
Which one is that? Is that the Mark Hamill ones?
Yeah, Mark Hamill's in there a lot, but he's like Unk.
Oh,
We're not doing this
hologram?
anymore. And they never explain... He's not dead. No, I don't think he's dead. No. There are other... There's a Yoda hologram. Hamill's like, I'm over this. We're not doing it. I gave up.
Who's the star of the movie? Hayden... What's his
Man,
name?
I don't know these actors' names.
He's old. Guys, Ari Melber is officially
I enjoyed the fiction.
Is
I didn't look them all
Natalie
up.
Portman? Remember that young lady,
No,
Natalie
it's Last
Portman?
Jedi's like
I don't. You think again? I do one name change. I did the first 3 Star Wars. I saw Revenge.
It's not
of the
the 3
Sith,
prequels.
And I was like, I don't need to keep doing this.
Yeah, it's not the prequels. It's the later Disney.
Even calling them prequels is a disrespect to what I did, to the amount of attention and energy I gave it. And now it's like, what turns out that wasn't the part of the story. Shut the fuck up. Anyhow, and you watch all the Disney Plus, you watch all the series.
Why did this come up? Now I forget what I was saying.
You were, look, if you don't know, I don't know. I'm not, some of them fact check.
Oh, I got it. Last Jedi.
Popularity.
Yep.
People don't want fact checking.
So Last Jedi is...
People don't want to think vaxes work, because then they have to get vaccinated.
It's an enjoyable film to watch, and it's fiction.
Mm-hmm.
If you put it on the news and said this is happening tonight and convinced some people that it was real, it would be even more intense. Think about the stakes of that happening on Earth.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of it's labeling. No one's saying, I practice First Amendment law. I litigated in the United States court system to defend people's right to say basically anything as long as it did not cause immediate violence or harm. That's the standard under U.S. law. That's where I come from, okay? Free speech. And I've actually done the work. No one's saying we shouldn't have the speech. It's just you might want to label it fiction or chat or questions rather than what I think is happening today, which is there's a decline of the traditional media for many understandable reasons, but then people are filling it with like cartoons and being like, no, Tom and Jerry are real. I saw it.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And that doesn't mean we should ban Tom and Jerry.
I'm not so sure.
Hey, you should like and subscribe.